Welcome, 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 you all. Welcome to today's edition of The Back Room. And we are so pleased that you have found us here tonight. I am your host for this evening, Hank Philippi Ryan, the USA Today bestselling author of 13 going on 14 novels of suspense. My newest is Her Perfect Life, which is so casually displayed behind me. And my new book, The House Guest, will be coming out in February. And yes, you will hear about it way more than you ever wanted to hear about it. It is sort of Thelma and Louise meet Gaslight. So you just sit back and soak up the wonderfulness of these terrific authors, and I will introduce them to you now. Best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author, and Edgar-winning novelist Megan, I'm going to do this the other way, Edgar-winning novelist Meg Gardiner. I'm just going to read it the way it is now. Edgar-winning novelist Meg Gardiner writes thrillers. They have been bestsellers in the US and internationally and have been translated into more than 20 languages. In addition to her 15 novels, Meg has published numerous short stories and contributed to Agatha and Anthony winning anthologies. She is a three-time Jeopardy champion. I just love that. I know. Rochelle just went, what? I love that. And a citizen of the Chickasaw Nation. She lives in Austin, Texas, and her newest thriller is Heat 2, and you all will want to hear about that. Awesome. Welcome, Meg Gardiner.
Thank you.
Megan Miranda, wave Megan, in the lower corner on my screen, is the New York Times bestselling author of All the Missing Girls, The Perfect Stranger, The Last House Guest, a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. Ooh, very nice. The Girl from Widow Hills and Such a Quiet Place. She has also written several books for young adults. She grew up in New Jersey, graduated from MIT, and lives in North Carolina with her husband and two children. Her new thriller, The Last to Vanish, was just published July 26th and was an instant New York Times bestseller. Yay! That's so completely great. She told us earlier that she's lost her voice a little bit as a result of that, so that's a good thing. Rochelle Weinstein, welcome Rochelle, is the USA Today and Amazon bestselling author of 6 women's fiction novels. A former entertainment industry executive, she splits her time between sunny South Florida and the mountains of North Carolina. Big North Carolina contingent tonight. When she's not writing, Rochelle can be found mentoring at-risk young women through the Women of Tomorrow, teaching workshops at Nova Southeastern University, hiking, reading, and finding the world's best nachos. Her current novel is When We Let Go, and hold that up. Great, that's so gorgeous. Can't wait to talk to you about that. Our final contestant, I want to say contestant because of Jeopardy and Meg Gardiner. Tonight, we also have Shanora Williams, a New York Times and USA Today bestselling author of more than 30 romance novels and diverse suspense novels. She currently lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know, you guys probably can holler at each other. Charlotte, North Carolina, and is the mother of 3 boys, has a fiercely devoted and supportive husband, and is a sister to 11. That must have been fun on Thanksgiving. When she isn't writing, she's spending time with her family, binge reading or running marathons on TV streaming services while scarfing down something sweet or salty. Her newest novel is The Wife Before, which we will hold up since she doesn't have one with her. And welcome. All right, Meg Gardiner, let me ask you the first question. Are you superstitious?
I tell myself I'm not, except I find myself like wearing lucky clothes if I'm going to go do something, or making sure I do everything in the same order I did it before because things turned out the right way. Or maybe it's just that if I'm carrying a cup of coffee and I think it's bad luck, it's because I'm trying to drink and walk at the same time and I end up tripping. So
You have unlucky clothes? Are there unlucky clothes?
No, they're just lucky clothes.
Oh,
So.
I love that. Okay, that's so much better. I have an unlucky necklace, I think, and I'm trying to figure out how to exercise that. So we'll see. We'll see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Rochelle, are you a good cook?
My husband's in the room and he's laughing. Like, I just want you all to know. So I guess I'm supposed to say I'm not a good cook because he's laughing, but I think I'm a good cook.
He's laughing?
Yes.
I'd like bring him on here.
He thinks he's a better cook.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he will come right on here. So don't tempt him. But he's a very good cook.
So what would you have a cook-off about? What do you cook?
We make completely different things. Like he makes some like Greek chicken. I'll make a totally different, like an apricot, more of a sweet chicken. Like we would never even try to go in the same type of food.
And that's why it's a happy marriage, right? That's why. Okay.
Perhaps.
You don't have dueling chicken. Shanora, what is the first thing that you remember writing? The first thing that you wrote?
I used to write songs, believe it or not. They're pretty corny though. They were more like jingles than songs, like, you know, those like commercial jingles. Similar to that, yeah.
Fun or for a job?
Yeah.
For fun?
Yeah, it was just for fun. Yeah, just being goofy. Like me and my cousins would do like tap on the desk or something, like, let's make up a song. And yeah, we were corny about it.
That's adorable. Do you remember any of them?
No, I can't. I really can't remember. I know it was one we had with the piano. I just can't remember the lyrics to it. We were like 16, 15. Yeah, it's been a while.
I love that. That's fantastic. All right. Megan Miranda, what was your first job?
My first job out of college, I worked in biotech as a research associate, but my very first job was babysitting. I'm the oldest of 18 cousins, and I have years of babysitting experience starting when I was 12 years old. That was like my big job. Yes.
And were you good at it?
Babysitting or science? Babysitting, not so much. I was just like the person there who was responsible if something went terribly wrong. I like to think I was better in the post-college jobs.
And what's more important, I guess. I mean, although I did read one of those Dear Miss Manners things where a mom got a text from her 14-year-old son who was babysitting. And the text said, "The kids are asleep. Is it okay if I can just go now?" So, you don't want to do that. Okay, Meg, I can't, these are random questions and I really can't believe, Meg, that you're getting this one, but I'm going to ask, what is the secret to winning Jeopardy?
No way. Having an overdeveloped trivia lobe in your brain, loving calm, general knowledge and arcane little trivial things, and not being afraid of trying out. That's the secret. If you watch the show and it says, if you want to be a contestant on Jeopardy, you're never going to win if you just sit there and let the website address go by. You have to actually log in and say you want to try out to be a contestant, and that's how you win.
Do you remember what you're winning the third time you won? What was the winning question or answer?
No, I remember the first day I won. The final Jeopardy question was about movie classics. So if anybody, it was a question about the final line of a 1939 film was I cannot live without my life. I cannot die without my soul. And we were asked to name the film. Hank is like, oh, of course, that's obvious.
No, I'm like, tell me it.
No, it was the other two contestants said Gone with the Wind, and I knew that was wrong. It was Wuthering Heights. So yay for literature.
Yay for literature. I love
romantic novels.
That's so fantastic. That's really great. We're going to remember that now. There are two questions here, Rochelle, and one of them was a cooking question, and it's just random. So I'm going to ask you the other one on this. Would you rather be inside or outside?
Oh, outside. Outside. I'm very much into nature. I'm very much into, just not to sound completely cliche, but being one with the earth. I love hiking. I love being outside. I love the beaches. I love the mountains. Definitely outside.
That's great. We've asked each of them to tell us a book that they would recommend other than their own. So let's start with Meg Gardiner. What book are you recommending?
I am recommending Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, not set in North Carolina, but in Southern Virginia, very close to the North Carolina border. It is Southern rural noir, is absolutely stunning. I love this book so much. My husband and I talked about this book last year more than any other book we have read. It's about two fathers, one black, one white, trying to solve for justice and vengeance the murders of their sons who were married to each other. And it is moving, it is mature, the writing is beautiful, it is funny, it is thrilling. So if you haven't read this one yet, run out after the back room and grab it.
Not right now, but after the back room, definitely so. And I want you all, this is a good time to remind you to look at the chat because you all are getting accolades and applause in the chat. Janie's saying, OMG, I love Heat so much. Pacino and De Niro, brilliant. Yes, indeed. Can't wait to read the new book. Nancy says, so wonderful. Just finished it, Razorblade Tears. And Wendy says, love Razorblade Tears. I think, Karen, that Razorblade Tears may be the most recommended book in the back room. I gotta think that's true. And Sean was here in the back room as well. Rochelle, what book are you recommending?
I am thrilled to recommend She's Up to No Good by Sarah Goodman Confino. And I read this book in a day. It is about navigating a turning point in one's life. A granddaughter and her grandmother go on a road trip. And this grandmother is now my favorite grandmother in the world. I want to adopt her. Her name is Evelyn. I want to move in with her. She's witty and she's eccentric. And I just loved her role in this book in motivating and inspiring her granddaughter. It's about second chances and healing. And I just loved it and you all should grab it.
Fantastic. And if all went as planned, which sometimes it does, Sarah is in the back room somewhere tonight.
We hope she's here. We hope she's here.
And congratulations on that. It sounds fantastic. Shanora, what book are you recommending?
Verity. I don't have the book. I lended it to is it lended or lent? Whatever. I gave it to my neighbor because she went on vacation and I told her, she was on like a Colleen Hoover binge. And I was like, oh, well, you have to read Verity. And she was like, well, I don't like suspense. And I'm like, well, you're crazy because I love suspense. Like suspense is the best. So I don't know. I read this book and it was just, I don't know. It sucked me in. Like it's very hard for me to get drawn into a book in a day, but I did read that book with it. It took me about 2 days, but it usually takes me about a week to finish a book these days. So I don't know. It was just suspenseful. It was creepy. It was like eerie. It's just like it could happen to you kind of thing, especially as a writer. Like the chicken is a ghostwriter. So she's writing for this woman who's no longer writing. And it's just so creepy the way everything just happens. And the son that they share is a lot. So it's a really good book. And I think I highly recommend it.
Great. Dasha is saying Verity is a roller coaster.
Yes.
So that sounds right. I can't read that. I'm going to have to read that. Everybody loves that book. Megan, what book are you recommending?
I'm recommending one of my favorite books of the year, Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. And I'm someone who's like so drawn in by voice, and the voice in this is just so insightful and strong. And it's about, it's so many of the things I love in a book. It's about a sister there's two sisters who are estranged, and one does not believe the other has overdosed when she finds out she's died. And it sets her down this path of figuring out, what really happened to her. But it's really also about these complex bonds of family and memory. And it's all wrapped together and just so beautifully done. It just resonated with me so much.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed that taste of what a backroom session is like. But more fun comes immediately afterward. That's when the audience is broken up into 4 breakout rooms, and each author in turn visits each room. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because those relaxed face-to-face conversations between best-selling authors and readers are the hallmark of backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded, because what's said in the back room stays in the back room.